I've been saying that the New King James brings you to doubt because of those doubting footnotes. But some of you have said, but I never look at the footnotes. This video is for you. Hi, I'm David Daniels from Chick Publications. Yeah, it is true. In 1979, when the New King James came out, it had no footnotes. But ever since they completed the New King James in 1982, the whole Bible, it had those footnotes right there. So what happens in your church when your pastor is reading from the ESV? Check it for yourself. The ESV reads almost like the New King James. So here he is, he's reading and you're following along, and then he comes to one of those places where suddenly it doesn't look anything like what you have in your New King James. Doesn't your eye just drift down just for a moment down to the footnote? And then you see it says, the NU doesn't read like this. The NU says that. And what it says is almost just like what your pastor just read to you from the pulpit. Doesn't that put just a little bit of doubt in your mind about what God really said? Doesn't that make you wonder which one's true, since your pastor and whatever scholars and other authorities pick the other reading? This has actually happened to friends I know. In fact, a pastor I know, he'd been using the New King James for years, and then out came the ESV. And wow, you know, those footnotes, if you put them in the text, they looked a lot like the ESV. He was actually tempted to switch to the ESV straight from the New King James. That's all I'll tell you about that story for now. But let me tell you about another person, a very well-known preacher, teacher, evangelist, author. He has his own study Bible and his commentaries and books, and for those he uses the New King James. But he also has a Bible college, and in that Bible college, if you want to be a student, you know what Bible they make you use? The ESV. Now, wait a second. Shouldn't the founder of the Bible college be able to tell them, hey guys, these are two totally different streams. This is from like the Textus Receptus Antiochian stream of manuscripts, and this is from the Alexandrian stream. Shouldn't he be able to say, let's be consistent here. I'm using the New King James. You should use New King James in the Bible college, not the ESV. Well, no. Why didn't he? Because he doesn't believe that the Textus Receptus or the Antiochian stream is any better than the Alexandrian stream. He doesn't believe in a preserved Bible for you. And because the New King James isn't a King James. It's an almost the same, which really means different. The New King James is a bridge Bible, or, as I've shown you before, the perfect transition Bible from the certainty of God's holy words to all these doubting books. They make merchandise of you. Yea, hath God said? Take a look. 2 Peter 2 verse 3. And through covetousness, the love of money, shall they with feigned words, men's words not God's, make merchandise of you. The love of what? Is the root of all what? How do they do it? It's like this. You start with your King James, and they come to you and say, why don't you switch to the New King James? The New King James, see, it updates the words, and it makes them easier to understand. Okay, cha-ching. Oh, but why don't you switch to the ESV? You know those footnotes, those scholarly footnotes that say NU are right in the text in the ESV, and it reads almost the same as the New King James. Cha-ching. Yes, but the greatest linguistic advances have been made in the 20th and 21st centuries. Why don't you go to the Common English Bible? Besides, over 120 translators from a bunch of different faith groups put it together and cha-ching. Why stop there? Dynamic equivalence, yes, with all the wonderful translators are using around the world. Not only that do you have in this, you even have the footnotes and alternate translations put into the text. Cha-ching! Oh, then you've got to have the Voice Bible. It's like a script. And all those theological terms, they take them out. They avoid them. Cha-ching! And on it goes. Or you could go from the ESV to the more literal New American Standard. Cha-ching, and the New American Standard Concordance. Cha-ching, and other outlines. Cha-ching, etc., etc. Or you could go to the big old NIV family of Bibles. Cha-ching, 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 cha-ching. And then, of course, you need the NIV Greek English New Testament, cha-ching, and the NIV Hebrew English Old Testament, cha-ching, and the New International Commentary Series, cha-ching, cha-ching, etc., etc., etc. If you trusted the King James Bible, you could avoid all that. They couldn't do that to you. They could never make merchandise of you like that. Because you'd have whatever form of King James you wanted, plus a concordance, which you could get for free on your cell phone or your computer. And then your authority would be centered on what? The words of God. The preserved, holy words of God in your language. Not all the new discoveries and decisions and doubts of all the new versions. You would have the certainty that you have the words of God in your hand. So the marketing of doubt is what these guys are really up to. And in fact, that's how the Bible industry became a multi-billion-dollar industry, and why at the top, the heads of the industry are non-believers. That's a glimpse, by the way, into a new book I'm going to be writing. Now, what do they care as long as you buy their stuff, right? They're not even believers. You do have a choice. You can have the revealed, inspired, preserved, tested and proved over 400 years in English King James Bible that you can rely upon. Or you can get on the new version merry-go-round, ever learning and never able to come to the knowledge of the truth. God bless you and have a wonderful day.